Here are the 12 most important YouTube short hacks that everyone should know. I'm Jordan. I just started this new channel after doing over $5 million, hiring 50 people. And I just found out about this new stupid thing that YouTube does that honestly, I wish I knew sooner. I will share it at the end of the video. And if there's one other hack that you implement today, may it be this. Your title matters way more than I thought on YouTube Shorts. Yes, your video title. For example, I noticed that this title of mine magically gets me 5 to sometimes even 20 times the amount of views. Now, not so magically, because probably I assume because people are waiting to see what is there to see, right? And of course, this increases watch time, swipe ratio, and so on. Now, I've tested 438 titles and many different title formats across my channels, and nothing comes as close to the engagement of this simple phrase. Now, the beauty of this hack is that it works across virtually any niche, from finance to fitness to entertainment, you name it. Same content, nothing different, only a title change. That's how powerful this hack can be. More about it later. Now, the second thing to do before you upload is to add hashtags in your description. Come on, who told you that is important? Your videos don't go viral because of your hashtags or your video description. They go viral despite. The real second thing that will actually increase your views is by going here in your YouTube Studio dashboard. Then you click on see more, and then you can look at the top 5 highest and bottom viewed shorts, and then manually make assumptions about what is working, or you copy paste the data like this and ask not ChatGPT but Grok 3, which I think is heavily underrated and great for this. You ask it then this prompt or a similar prompt like, this is my YouTube Studio data, I'm looking to write better titles for my YouTube shorts, give me 10 title variations that I can try based on my highest viewed shorts, and give me lessons on what to avoid in my YouTube short titles based on assumptions that you make on my worst data. Now, what is amazing about this, that it works whether you have 10 videos or 1,000. The more data the better, but patterns become more clear when you look at the extremes. Of course, the more data the better, but it doesn't just apply to titles. You can use the same approach, which I do, for your thumbnails, content topics, your hooks, your intro, and any other variable metrics in your shorts. Which brings me to this Google Sheet and system that can make you $3,600 per month from YouTube Shorts with around 5.5 hours per week of work. Now, that's not just a random number, it's actually based on real results and data. Now, let me show you the system, which by the way, you can access completely for free. Here's how it works. You want to create multiple sub accounts across platforms, like this guy did, Elite God, on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Snapchat, and I even do it on Pinterest. And then use a tool like Submagic to extract 10, 20 clips from a podcast, interview, or any long form video by pasting the video link like this, and then post all of these clips across your sub accounts within that niche. And then if you pick a famous person like Elon Musk to create clips from, or very popular topics like AI, then these are realistic results that you can get. And also, as you can see, these shorts are very badly edited, but look at the views they get. So imagine if you use a tool like Submagic, which will actually make it look even better than that, with actually good looking captions and so on. Now you may wonder, how much time does it take and how much money does this cost to do? Well, it takes my employee around 23 minutes per batch, and each batch contains both the editing of the short and the posting on the 6 platforms, and adding all the data in this Google Sheet. And then once a week, here it comes, we have an automated system that basically scrapes all of the social media data, YouTube views, but also crazy amounts of data like comment counts and so on for YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, Facebook, for free. Let me repeat that, all for free. And then we get that all into that Google Sheet, which makes it very easy to see outliers and so on, just keep track of how much views we get and so on, which of course helps with recreating or creating better shorts in the future. Now, it took me a lot of time to figure out this automated way to get all of my social media analytics into this sheet with just a few clicks, but now it works. And it's free, as I mentioned. The Google Sheet, the way we scrape the data, but also the SOP that I gave to my employee that you can use if you have employees, but also yourself to really create, for example, the social media accounts without any bans, without any shadow banning, but also with a good IP address, and how to safely delegate access to those social media accounts to, for example, your employee, so that we don't post from, in my case, from the Philippines, which usually those platforms don't like, but instead from Europe or the US. All of that you can get for free. But then you ask, what does cost money? Because I care about about free stuff, free tools. Well, it's actually very inexpensive to run this system. If you don't delegate this like I did, but then do it yourself, of course it costs you time, which realistically takes you also around 23 minutes per batch, and that's actual an average of all the shorts we've posted. So if you post 2 times a day, that would cost you about 5.5 hours per week, whether you delegate it or you do it yourself. And then of course the next thing would be to edit the videos. Well, you can manually do that. I did that before. Well, I delegated that to my video editor, but that costed me way more money than using AI to basically edit those shorts. So that's why I use Submagic. Now they are sponsoring this video, but I would have used them anyway. And that's because if you do the basic math, they're way less expensive than any video editor. So then what are the costs for Submagic? Well, I recommend their unlimited clips plan, which sets you back around $58 per month or less if you use my 10% discount code JordanCrok10, which you all can also find in the description. And then you have all of the features with premium captions like this and this. By the way, I love this one. Also branding options for your shorts, automated B-roll, zoom ins, all of that stuff. And that's it for the cost. That's what it costs to post thousands of posts per month. Your time, or your employee's time in my case, and $50 per month for the editing. So if you want my SOP Google Sheet and that automated way to get all of those analytics into your sheet, if you want that all for free, then use my 10% discount code for Submagic and my affiliate link below, and then email your receipt to this email, and I share access to everything that I normally sell for $99. And by the way, just so you know, this is the same system that Imangatsi uses to get 300 million views per month.
This is everything we do to get 300 million views a month with short form.
Another thing that I didn't mention is that this system is absolutely game changing because it leverages the minimum amount of views that you always get for posting on YouTube, Instagram and so on, because these platforms, they give you a minimum amount of views, even if your content is average, which of course gets you faster to that monetization on YouTube Shorts, but also in my case, a lot of brand recognition and a lot of data, which basically creates this positive feedback loop. More content, more data, which leads to better content decisions and ultimately viral shorts. But a big problem I see is that a lot of creators do not simply post enough content. You hear this all the time. Alexa Moses says this all the time. You need to post more quantity, right? But you're probably not doing that. But with this system, you can easily delegate it or do it yourself. With 5.5 hours per week, you get thousands of data points and hundreds of posts. Which brings me to the next hack that is actually crushing it right now. So what is it? Well, being lightning fast with trends. That's not new. You've probably heard that before, but now being very fast AI tools before they go mainstream. What do I mean? Well, there are 4 tools right now. By the way, not sponsored, not affiliated by them, but they are great. Pika Labs, Luma Labs, Runway, and Kling. I personally like Pika Labs a lot, and what all of them do, especially Pika Labs, is they constantly release new AI video styles, as you can see here. And if you are the first one that uses a new model which has crazy AI effects and so on, which looks very interesting most of the times, as you can see here. And then what you can do is you can use those new AI styles to be the first one to post with that style. And you don't have to believe me, just look at the socials. These videos go viral a lot. If you just go to Twitter, you see these Ghibli style photos right now taking off by almost anyone. And the same happens with these AI styles, especially when used with famous people. So what I recommend you do is to add the socials or the website of those tools like Pika Labs into your bookmarks, so you open them every day or every week. But ideally every day or maybe multiple times a day if that's really your niche. And then you are one of the first people to see any new releases and post about it. And you can even go fancier by using like a free RSS feed like this one to get an overview of all the trends. For example, also when a new podcast is released of someone that you create videos about like Elon Musk or whoever. Because when you do that and you are the first one to make shorts about a new interview with Elon Musk and he says certain things there, and you use Submagic to basically get a score for the highest, best probability shorts to go viral, and you post those right away on your YouTube Shorts, but also Instagram and so on, well, they're a lot more likely to go viral because you're the first. And then you can get results like this and this, which are very realistic, as you can see with those bad looking shorts. Which brings me to the next thing. You can actually get paid more extra through content rewards programs that most creators, probably you too, don't even know that exist. Now Imangatsi, who has 5 million subscribers on YouTube, just invested in this company, and they have a program called Content Rewards where they pay very, very high amounts for each 1,000 views you get. I mean, look at this guy. $5 per 1,000 views is honestly insane. I would definitely take advantage of this while you can, because Imangazzi is promoting it. You can still be early. I will leave a link somewhere below where you can go to the program and see if it's actually interesting for you. But what is great about the program, I think, is that you can actually use it with the short form tsunami system that I showed you earlier and a tool like Submagic to literally make money before you are monetized on YouTube. And you are growing your channel and other sub accounts on Instagram where you can later sell promotions, shoutouts, story, you name it. A lot of other income streams from those accounts too. Now these kind of opportunities are exactly why watching videos like this in the creator community are so valuable. Just like this free overlay to avoid captions or graphics being covered by the YouTube Shorts UI, the user interface. Simply send it to your editor, or if you edit your own videos, then simply edit like this in Adobe Premiere or CapCut, wherever. Change the opacity and avoid any elements being shown outside of the safe zone. And you avoid the algorithm from potentially shadow banning your short. I mean, obviously YouTube doesn't like it when your key information gets hidden behind your short's title or the like button. And then of course a significant amount of viewers are more likely to swipe away for the next short, right? There are thousands of them that do not hide important information. And the beauty of this hack is that it simply literally takes 30 seconds to implement. So just download the free template and make sure all of your important visuals stay within the safe zones across all platforms. It also works on TikTok, Instagram Reels, and so on. Which brings me to your thumbnails for your shorts. Yes, you heard that right. If you thought you can't add a thumbnail in your short, well, that's what most creators overlook. Add your custom thumbnail that you made in Photoshop or Photopea, which is a free variant, and then add it as the first 2 frames of the video like this in your editing software like Premiere Pro, and then drag the slider after you upload it on mobile or desktop. Drag that slider to the beginning of the video to show your YouTube Shorts thumbnail. And of course, increase your click-through rate when it shows on the YouTube home feed and other places like suggested videos. By the way, you can download my free thumbnail pack below. Create thumbnails like this, and this in minutes. Now the reason why this works so well is that most creators don't bother to create thumbnails for their shorts, right? Have you ever seen one? I only saw my own, which obviously gives you an instant competitive advantage. Even if only 20% of your views come from places like home feed or suggested or search, right, where the thumbnail is actually visible. That's still a massive opportunity to increase your total view count. Which brings me to the next one. To increase your views, your YouTube Shorts video ID matters a lot. And I think more than you realize. For many reasons, but one of them is that YouTube actually analyzes your video transcript to find out who to serve it to. So if your video topic is about wide, popular topics like ChatGPT, AI, then of course it can show it to more people. Makes sense, right? You already know this, but let me show you something you don't know. It's the reason why one of my channels took off. Now before I share what happened, I recommend keeping a running list of trending topics in your niche and creating shorts around the ones with the highest search volume, the most interest. Now you don't have to chase every trend, but simply being aware of what people are actively searching for, you are more likely to create better performing shorts. Even if your channel has a specific focus, you can always find angles to connect trending topics back to your core content or the famous person you create clips from. I've even noticed that showing the ChatGPT logo in the beginning of the short can massively increase view counts. Just an example. Which brings me to the next thing, which is about timing and search volume. Long time ago, I made videos about Andrew Tate, and this video got over 1 million views. And you know the main reason? I was very surprised when I found out. It was search volume. And I found out a year later after it went viral already. I mean, look at this. Over 40% from those 11 million impressions came from YouTube search. So here's what you can practically do. Use any of the next free tools to find highly searched keywords currently right now and use those in your title, and ideally also mention them in your video and make them the topic of your video. The first place to find those topics is of course on Twitter/X, because that's what people are talking about real time. It's really good, but not always sufficient for any niche. So I also found out about this tool that I actually used for this video, which is called TubeRanker. It's also free again, and it allows you to discover exactly what people are searching for and the search volume on YouTube. And then this is another similar tool that I used a lot before, but now I found out about TubeRanker. I like that better because it gives me the ability to export easily to CSV, which I can then import in Google Sheet. I like that a lot more. And by the way, if you want 80 other free YouTube tools, then you can open my free Google Sheet below, somewhere in the comments description. Which brings me to the next hack. Simply right click on the video page of another video, viral short, inspect element F12, and then search for this so you can verify the category of another similar viral short in your niche. And then of course use that that to make a better decision on which video category you pick over here. Now, will this make a big difference? Honestly, I don't know. But to see what categories the top performing shorts in your space are using, I think could be valuable to at least do once. And by the way, I have a little conspiracy that YouTube actually pays out higher RPMs to shorts uploaded in the education category rather than the blog category or the entertainment one. But don't believe me, just maybe try it out. Anyways, before I tell you about the most annoying thing that YouTube does to keep your short views low, and also how some people might be able to prevent it, well, the next hack is maybe equally important if you do not see good results with your shorts yet. Because like Einstein once said or wrote, I'm not sure, insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over and over and expecting different results. So make some changes. If you do not get good results, make changes. Now you ask where to make changes. Well, of course you want to make changes in the
big things, the things that matter first.
I'm a big fan of small improvements, but of course, big ones, you want to tackle those first and experiment with that. So you ask, what are they? Well, if your current niche isn't getting traction, if your videos aren't getting traction, then don't be afraid to experiment completely different topics. The topic is insanely important, but sometimes it can also be just as simple as your hook and swapping that one out if you think you've really made a good short. Or by simply using Submagic and using the short tsunami system by posting a lot of volume, which always guarantees you views. It's just a matter of time before one takes off because you're posting so much volume, especially when you create about popular topics and famous people. And the beauty of shorts is that you can test new formats, new things, new topics, new hooks rapidly, unlike long form, and you get immediate feedback. I mean, shorts take much less time to take off in the algorithm as well. So don't fall in love with anything that worked in the past. If you got a 1 million viewed shorts and then just keep repeating that same thing that you think created those 1 million views, don't fall in love with anything there. Fall in love with experimenting. And of course, look at the patterns. For example, in that Google Sheet, in the dashboard, look at the patterns and make assumptions and test more. Fall in love with experimenting, not with your content. Anyways, the next thing that YouTube unfortunately does is that they lower the amount of impressions to new accounts. Yes, you heard that right. So you can check when your channel was created over here where it says joined and then the year, date, and of course the older it is the better. And that's not to say that you don't get views when it just created last week or a few months ago. But what I have found that it has genuinely a very big impact, not on short views only, also on long form views. On the next thing, which is on when YouTube starts to show your shorts to more viewers. I wouldn't call this shadow banning, but the reason for this is simple because YouTube is fighting a lot of spam and bot accounts. So of course they programmed the algorithm to trust older accounts more. I don't know how they do this, if they have a score for this and so on. It could be. All I know is my own results, and new accounts have shown to perform poorly. So this is why I always recommend creators to post on oldest available YouTube account rather than creating a fresh new one, which always seems nice because you have something new and no watch history and so on. But start using your oldest accounts. So if you have multiple Google accounts, then check all of them, find where the oldest channel is, and then start uploading there as well. Actually figure out for yourself and actually see perhaps even the same shorts take off over there. Or if you use a tool like Submagic, you can basically change the caption style and change minor things here and there like music and so on, brand assets, and then you can repurpose that short, which is now quite different. You can post it also on that new account, which is much older in age. And then I also recommend creating several backup channels right now, today is better than tomorrow, that you might need in the future, because then they will be aged and ready for when you may need them. This YouTube setting that honestly I found out about too late, and I left significant money on the table. I'll talk about it in this video. See you there or not. Talk soon.